Lab tests show his DNA was not found at the crime scene, and detectives don't have enough evidence to charge McCann with killing Jodi. So he walks.
You know which way you're going?
And when the case goes cold for several more years, cops lose hope of ever catching Jodi's killer.
Did the police do an adequate job in this case?
I felt like they gave up. They told me, oh, well, we're going to dismember the cold case team and not work on the case anymore. That was heart-wrenching.
But after Jodi's mom, Jo, begs them to keep the case open, state police cold case detectives shake the tree one last time. And in a surprising move, they charge Raymond McCann with 5 counts of perjury for lying to investigators.
To me, that took too long. He should have been charged with that a lot earlier than what he was.
But we're telling you now, don't be afraid, tell the truth.
He was such a strong suspect for so long, we had to address his lies and inconsistencies to corroborate what others were saying.
Several people, including Jo, had said McCann made up stories about the night of Jodi's murder.
If I would have done all that, I would have been locked up right away.
McCann had told investigators that during the search, he saw Jo in her car with a blonde girl he thought was Jodi, but didn't see her face clearly.
And I go, oh, good, you found her. And they go, no, that's the neighbor kid.
Interrogators were stunned.
If you think that was her, then you're saying Mom and the other people were involved.
I know, and that's a hell of a statement to be saying because, and I pray I'm wrong.
But Jo had told cops that incident never happened.
And he did lie. He did perjure himself.
McCann eventually accepts a deal, pleading no contest to one of the 5 perjury counts, one alleging he lied about another conversation on the night of the search for Jodi.
He told us that one of the officers told him to go meet him somewhere. That other officer said, no, that just never happened.
McCann is sentenced to 20 months to 20 years in prison, and cops believe they at least have Jodi's killer behind bars as they buy time to gather enough evidence to charge him with her murder.
When you combine everything that's gone on around him, the inconsistent statements, his actions, the behaviors, just didn't add up.
But then something happens that stops investigators dead in their tracks. While McCann is still locked up, another little girl is attacked in a neighboring town.
I almost got killed.
10-year-old Mackenzie Stafford is riding her bike just like Jodi when she's approached by an elderly neighbor.
What happened?
He asked me if I can go in his garage and help him, and I said sure. He asked me to kind of put tools in his box because he said his back was hurting.
Then he attacks.
All of a sudden he pulls me back and just grabs me. He says, shut up or I'll kill you. Then he grabs me by my mouth, and then he tries to pull a knife out.
And as he's trying to close the garage door,
I just turned around and kicked him and punched him.
he then grabs a knife and slashes at Mackenzie.
I think, wow, I'm gonna die.
But the brave little girl miraculously escapes with only a minor knife wound to her torso, as well as some bruises and abrasions on her arms and shoulders.
How did you escape?
Just by like running so fast.
And Mackenzie leads police investigating Jodi's murder right to the door of 65-year-old Daniel Furlong.
He was not on our radar until she came along. She's the one that broke the case. She absolutely is.
Then lab tests come back. Furlong's DNA is a match with the DNA found on Jodi's body.
And then at that point, we placed him under arrest for Jodi Parrack's murder.
Next, Daniel Furlong tells all.
She said, please let me go, let me go. I said, honey, I can't let you go right now.